Hi neighbors, I'm Diane, or Granny, here at I Reckon So Farm in my little kitchen. Today I'm going to be looking at our potatoes because we grow potatoes in the garden, but you know, we're just starting to put them in the ground because it's just starting to get warm enough. But we have all these store-bought potatoes that I want to use up. What I'm going to do is can them. I'm going to dice them up and can them in quart jars so we'll have them to use for soup and you know, breakfast potatoes and things like that. So the other day Paul was out shopping and he came across these. He picked these up at Grocery Outlet. It was a really good buy, $1.49 for a 5-pound bag, so we got 2 of those. So these are the ones we'll eat. These are the freshest, and these probably aren't the best, but they're okay, and we don't want them to go to waste, so I'll go ahead and can them. So the first job is to get them all peeled. I'm going to peel them, put them in some cold water, and cut out any bad spots, and then we'll dice them up. Okay, so let's get started with that. I'll put you down where you can see what I'm doing. This is my cold water. I don't know if you can see, probably 30 years ago, I dropped this bowl and broke a big chunk out of it. And I love this bowl and I use it all the time. I don't want to throw it away, so I couldn't find all the pieces, but I glued back what I could find, and I've been using it ever since. So, okay, let's open these bags. They look pretty good. If any of them are sprouted, they've probably been treated because they're not organic, so they're not sprouted. So that's a bunch of potatoes, though. They look pretty good, so let's get started. Oh, there they are. Just gonna let's go ahead and peel them. Let the peels go in the sink. I'll put them out in my compost pile later on. I don't give them to the chickens. I don't think they're too keen on potato peels, but they're great for the compost. My bowl's full, so I'm going to go back and take my paring knife and cut out any bad spots. See? Now, some people aren't that particular. I've watched other people and they'll just throw them in a pan, like for mashed potatoes, with just like that. I'm pretty picky. I want it to be all white. You know, I cut out every spot. Can't help it. That's just what I do. So. This one's got a few spots on it. Some of the little spots go a little bit deeper, so I want to make sure that there's nothing bad down inside there. Okay, so I'll get this whole bowl here all cleaned up and ready to go, and then we'll dice them up. Okay, I'll be back. I'm going to pour off the water. There's one I missed. Look at that one. Okay, pretty good. I'm gonna fill this with some fresh water. Nice and cold. Well, I got this bowl full, diced up potatoes, and I have enough for another bowl, so I'm peeling these and we'll get them diced and then they'll be ready to put in jars. Whew, okay. We have 2 full bowls of diced up potatoes ready to put in jars. Now normally in the past I've always used quart jars, which is fine, and I'll do some quarts today, but I've been thinking as I was chopping that it might be nice for Paul and I to have some pint jars, because for breakfast especially, just to fry up with eggs. If it's just us, I'd rather use a pint than have a half a quart in the refrigerator to use up. So let's see how many quarts we have, and maybe we'll do some pints too. So I have clean jars here, and real simple, I'm going to put a teaspoon of salt in each one, and just cover the potatoes with water, and put the lids on, and then they'll go in the pressure canner. So let's get started. I need a funnel. I think I'll give them a good rinse first. There we go. Look at that. Okay. Oops. Well, this would be called a cold pack. Potatoes are cold, water's cold, and when we put it in the pressure canner, that water will be cold too, and we'll just let it slowly warm up so we don't have any breakage. Air bubbles out. More. I'm going to leave about an inch of head space. It's a little too full. Okay. Okay, there's 4 quarts, and I'm going to put some salt in each one. About a teaspoon, a little less maybe. Wipe the top. All right. And the lids. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to go out to the garage and get some more, a few more jars for this bowl full. And I'll get some pints too. Be right back. Okay, I went out to the garage. I got 7 pint jars, and I've rinsed this other bowl full of potatoes. I rinsed them. They're in the colander. Okay. It looks like we're going to have another quart. It doesn't fill it all the way. We'll just eat these for supper tonight. I set a few aside here that I didn't peel because our chives are looking great out in the garden, so I'd make baked potatoes out of those. Okay. I'm just going to save that to eat fresh. Let's put some water in these. Get the air bubbles out. I'll put about a half a teaspoon. Okay. Now, potatoes are such a low acid food that it wouldn't be safe to water bath can them. So we'll go ahead and put them in the pressure canner. I'm going to go out and get that and set it up here on the stove, and we'll get started with that part. Okay, looking at my little Presto cooker canner instruction book, it says for potatoes, process at 15 pounds pressure, pints and quarts, for 20 minutes. Got them here on the stove. Show you. They're in the canner. 7 pints. Okay. Let's see. Just have to line this up properly. Where's my arrow? There it is. Right. This guy on. Turn the power on. Okay. All set, and we're going to let this gauge get up to 15, which is right here, and we'll let it go for 20 minutes, and then they'll be done. Okay? Well, we did it. And then we'll put the quarts in. It's going to take a little while, but it's going to be really nice to have these. All right. We made it up to 15 pounds of pressure. You can see it on the gauge there. Now I'll set the timer for 20 minutes. And this is where we need to keep an eye on the temperature. I'll turn it down a little bit because we don't want to go past 15. Okay, time's that. A minute. We'll shut the burner off. Okay, I'm going to scoot the, whoops, it's off. I'm going to scoot the pressure canner off the heat, and in this little guy, gauge here is dropped down, and this one reads 0, and this drops down, then we'll know the pressure's gone and it's safe to open it up. So we'll just let it cool down, and then we'll look at our potatoes and see how they turned out.
So, we've been canning potatoes this morning. Now Diane's ready to open the pressure cooker and see what's in there.
This dropped down, and Paul took this off, so it's safe to open it. Still hot though.
Still hot.
No broken jars. That's good. Okay, 7 pints. That'll be really nice to have for breakfast. Now we still have our quarts to do. I'll set the quarts in there. Well, wait a minute. We don't want to put the cold jars in hot water, so I think what I'm going to do is let this cool a little bit longer. I'll dump the hot water out, put cold water in, and let it come up to temperature all together so we don't get a broken jar. Okay, I poured out the hot water and put some fresh cold water in here. Now I'm going to add these 4 quarts of potatoes to the pot. 3. And one more. And the instructions say to cook the quarts the same as we did the pints. So they'll, when they get up to 15 pounds of pressure, then we'll set the timer for 20 minutes, just like we did with the pints. And when everything's done cooking, then we'll see what we ended up with. All right, we did it. They're done. The pints have all sealed. 7 pints. Let's get these quarts out. Whoops. Okay. And one more. There we go. We've got potatoes. We did it. There they are. That's a good job done. Glad to have them all ready to go. It'll be very convenient. Thanks for stopping by.